You can spot me in the city building lobby with a sword off shot. He's screaming, drop it, this a rock.
What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. So let's talk Creed 2. I'm very excited for this movie. Okay, I'm very excited for Creed 2, extremely. Why? Because Creed 1 it may be my favorite boxing movie of all time. And that's Rocky, Raging Bull, and Creed. Okay, I'm partial to Creed because it felt organically black, right? I'm from a time where I don't know, I looked up to Roadblock from G.I. Joe. Remember Roadblock from G.I. Joe? All right, I mean, you know, he did stuff like, he said, yo, Joe, we trying to go. And, you know, really, black people don't rhyme. We don't rhyme every word we say, okay? So that's where I'm from. And, you know, so when I watched Creed and I saw how he interacted with his girlfriend, how he interacted with his mother, how he responded just to anything, feelings, emotions, how he got excited, all that stuff is what I know. So it touched me personally. It was so relatable for me that it became my favorite boxing movie. So I'm very excited. From my understanding, though, Ryan Coogler, he's not going to be the director for Creed 2. There's another guy, Steven something or another. He was a director for a few episodes of Grownish, which my daughter, she watched that show, and that's a great show. He also directed, I think, The Land. Let me get his real name. Stephen Capel. That's his name. We have a synopsis for Creed 2. It was released early this month. And the synopsis says, life has become a balancing act for Adonis Creed between personal obligations and training for his next big fight. He is up against the challenge of his life, facing an opponent with ties to his family's past only intensifies his impending battle in the ring. Rocky Balboa is there by his side through it all, and together, Rocky and Adonis will confront their shared legacy, question what's worth fighting for, and discover that nothing's more important than family. Creed 2 is about going back to the basics to rediscover what made you a champion in the first place, and remembering that no matter where you go, you can't escape your history. So, if you don't know, in Creed 2, Adonis Creed will be facing the son of Ivan Drago. At first, when I heard that news, I didn't know exactly how to feel about that, because Rocky 4, though it was one of the better Rockies, Rocky 4 is more cartoony, okay, than the movies out now, okay? They're definitely more cartoony than Southpaw and Creed and movies like, you know, Warrior, stuff like that. You know, to try to grab that guy and try to fit it into now. But hey, look, they did it with Rocky, right? But Drago was more of this. He was a great fighter. He was a great fighter, though. They did an excellent job, and he was a menace, okay? So at first I didn't know how to feel, like, how is that going to work? But I'm pretty sure they're going to do a good job. And, you know, Drago killed Apollo Creed, all right? And, I mean, you know, when Drago killed Apollo Creed, at the time, when I was a kid, that was one of the saddest things in cinema, all right? Now, I laugh my balls off, okay? I laugh at the ridiculousness of, you know, your boy saying, you know, like, that's funny. On top of, you know, the way Apollo's humping the canvas, how Drago can care less, you know, if he dies. He dies. I mean, the guy is dying, all right? So, I don't know. Right now, it's kind of laughable, but at the time, it was extremely dramatic, okay? But needless to say, that's how Apollo Creed was killed. And also, Drago is the reason why, I mean, Rocky's life came crashing down. So Drago killed Rocky's best friend, Apollo, and after that, you know, the shots that he took to the head, Rocky had brain damage, you know, so he was Rocky 5, which the worst Rocky ever, but he had the brain damage in Rocky 5, and everything just kind of fell apart. From Rocky 4 on, he done hit his low, and he's trying to come up, and he found this midway life. Now he's training Creed. And if you haven't seen Creed 1, Rocky is fighting cancer, okay? So he may be on a downstroke he may be on the downhill again. All right, but with that said, I think that brings some good drama into Creed 2, which, you know, it made me look into it. I saw some photos on TMZ where Ivan Drago is with his son training in Philly. So the fight is not going to be in Russia, I don't think. Okay, so the footage, they were training in Philly. At least they were by the Rocky statue. All right, so that was, you know, interesting to see. I'm not sure how his son is going to be. That's Ivan Drago's son. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be. I was, either way, if Ivan Drago's son is someone that's like, hey, look, that wasn't me. My father killed your father. I'm not like that. Or if he's like, hey, yeah, my father killed your father and I'm going to kill you. Either way, I'm going to be excited to see that dynamic. I know Creed is going to have a huge chip on his shoulder because he took his father away. All right, so if he could get some of that back by beating Ivan Drago's son, I think that'd be cool. Just to see how Ivan Drago, you know, interacts with Rocky and how Rocky looks at Drago. He may have like a little intimidation look, like he was looking at Clubber Lang in Rocky 3, something like that. I think that'd be cool. On top of that, I was always interested in what happened with Ivan Drago's career. All we know is that if there was an exhibition bout where he kills Apollo Creed, and then he has his real fight with Rocky, and that was a loss. I never really understood. I know with Drago, he had like a huge amateur background. He did some stuff in the Olympics. I know he was juicing. He was getting his Canelo on. I think he blamed it on tainted meat, and that passed over well. It was the 80s. That was a joke. I know he had a great amateur background. I don't know how he was as a professional. I tell you this, though. Look at how he fights. You see how, you know, he uses his feet, he jab, he counters. I mean, beautiful. I mean, Keith with the jab, he was a well-rounded fighter. All right, I mean, he was definitely more schooled than Rocky. Well, Rocky came from the bar, you know what I'm saying? But he was more schooled than Rocky, way more schooled than Clubber Lang. I mean, that dude was something else. So I'm expecting his son to be as complete if Ivan Drago is his trainer. Now, I know Adonis Creed, he has heart as big as all outdoors, right? But Adonis Creed is no Apollo Creed, right? They let that be known that Apollo Creed is the greatest fighter of all time. So Adonis, he got into the game a little later. He's a little older. He's no Apollo Creed, okay? But he wants to fill those shoes, and that's an excellent dynamic. That's another thing I related to as well because I never knew my father either. All right, so, you know, you spend your whole life trying to fill these shoes of what, you know, you put stories together of what your mother may have said or what, you know, this person who anyone who knows your father, you try to pull those things together so you can fill those shoes. That's what I, you know, related to with Adonis Creed. So Adonis Creed, he's not his dad, but he's trying to like fill those, or to say, hey, look, I carried the Creed name. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I qualify. Maybe that's enough. Hey, look, I boxed and I qualify. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure what happens with Rocky in this movie. I'm expecting Rocky to die. Okay, because I think that'd be a cool thing if Ivan Drago, he just slaughtered the whole thing. Like, I don't know, if Ivan Drago comes into the picture, you know, bumps Rocky, you know he's sick, or pushes him, he falls, hits his head or something like that, and it's more of an accident than anything. I mean, I'm just thinking anything is possible, and I think that'd be a cool thing if that'd catapult Ivan Drago even further on what he meant to the Rocky franchise. You know what I'm saying? If he's responsible for something like that, or if his son is, you know. But I'm curious to know the dynamic between Ivan Drago and his son, because even though Ivan Drago was juicing, Ivan Drago has some integrity. Remember when he picked up his trainer, he said, you know, I don't do this for you, I do this for me. And then he looked at the crowd and he said, it's all for me. He has some integrity, and I wonder if his son is going to have that. Be kind of stubborn as well, and they have a little bumping of the heads. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Ivan Drago, he can't live with the fact that he killed Apollo Creed. Maybe that's the thing. You know, I'm looking forward to all these dynamics. It's kind of like Nigel Benn, what happened with him and the G-Man, right? You see the condition that the G-Man is in, and Nigel Benn, from my understanding, he was dang near suicidal. He hates what happened, and he lived with that, and it took him a while to kind of get over that. I mean, this is like real life emotions that I think that they can draw from. You know, Ivan Drago kind of growing as a man, because he was a boy when he killed Apollo Creed. Maybe growing as a man and saying, hey man, look, that is not, you know, That's not cool to be like that. You know, maybe he looks back and he's embarrassed by it, but his son has a chip on his shoulder. I'm looking forward to all those things. Let me know if you're looking forward to Creed 2. Let me know what you think is going to happen. What's your favorite Rocky? My favorite Rocky is Rocky 1. Let me know your favorite Rocky down below, and then maybe we can make this a thing. We can have fantasy fights on who will win between a prime Apollo Creed and Ivan Drago. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think, man. That's all I got right now for Creed 2. Any new news that I have for Creed 2, I'll let you know. ShowBizz the adult. I'm out.
City build a lobby with a sawed-off shot. He screaming, drop it, this a robbery.